This is Leslie, and I'm going to be going over a couple of the conventions for APA formatting and citations in this video. You should see on your screen on the left side there is the cover page of an APA paper, and on the right side is the reference list. So first, starting out with the cover page, we've got the words running head to the left. This is the only page that has the actual words running head, but the running head here is a shortened form of the title, all caps, no more than 50 characters, including spaces, followed by the page number in the upper right. In the middle of the cover page, we've got your title, we've got your name, and your institution, usually the university that you are associated with. And then sometimes we have at the bottom an author's note. For student papers, it might have the class and your professor. So check with your professor to see if this is something that is required for your assignment. Following the cover page, we've got possibly an abstract. An abstract is a short summary of what your paper is about. And then keywords are important should your paper get published someplace in the future. It lists terms that future scholars will use to find your research. So that could be important for you in the future. Following the abstract and keywords page is the title of your paper. So here we have on page 3, your title is centered and title case, which means all the words are capitalized the first letter. And notice also that it's the same font as the rest of the paper. It's not bold, it's not underlined, it's no fancy font. Here's the body of the paper. Sometimes in your paper you might need to break it up into sections and have heading titles. So I'm going to jump over here to another sample. This shows the level headings. The level 1 heading is in bold centered, title case. Level 2 headings, which would be subheadings of the level 1, is also a bold title case and flush left. And then should you have a level 3 heading, it's paragraph indent and just the first letter is capitalized and the rest is lowercase. Okay, I'm going to jump back to the first paper here. This is the reference page. One thing I want to point out is that it's its own page. It's not tacked on to the last page of the body of the paper. It's its own page. And it's got references centered, capitalized first letter. It's not bold. It's not underlined, and it's not called bibliography or works cited as it is in MLA papers. So with APA, it's called references. The citations are listed alphabetically by last name, and they're also, you'll notice they're overhanging indents so that it's very, very easy to find an author because it sticks out at the margin. And then subsequent lines for that particular citation are indented. One tab. Now let's take a look at this first citation. We've got last name, comma, first initial. So APA does not write out the first name of the author, but just puts the initial, followed by the date, which is very, very, very important. The date always follows the name of the author, both in text and in your references. Now this is an article from a journal. We can tell that because it is lowercase, except for the first letter, or if there's a subtitle, there's a colon and the first letter of the word following the colon. But the rest of it is lowercase. The journal title is in title case and italic. This one has a volume number and an issue number and the page range. I can tell that this is a print source because there's no URL following that. If you retrieve something from a website online, you would put retrieve from, the website name, and then the URL. One thing they don't have here is the digital object identifier, the DOI number. If that is available, always put the DOI instead of the URL, because sometimes websites change or they disappear, but a DOI number will never disappear. It'll always be there to find the article. Okay, going back to the body of the paper, the last thing I just want to mention is that when you cite in text, whether it's by, this is an organization as author, International Society for Technology. Like I said before, always put the date of the study. This is really important, especially for science papers. And make sure that your references match your in-text citation. So here I see Bell. I go to the references, Bell. Here I see International Society for Technology and Education. I go to the references, International Society for Technology and Education. So if your references don't match your in-text citations, then your reader won't be able to find them. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope this was helpful.